We're bringing something back we like to do once in a while. It's called head-to-head, where we usually take an older wrestler against a newer wrestler. But in this particular case, we're going to take the late Bobby Eaton, one of the great tag team wrestlers, against another great tag team wrestler, Michael P.S. Hayes.
Wow.
Jimmy Farrell will explain the rules to everybody, and then we'll have it and have a little fun. So, Maddie, hit the thing.
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of professional wrestling for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready? Wrestling fans, are you ready?
All right, we have returned for head-to-head. By the way, this is awesome. Mess is going to play head-to-head with us?
He's going to play head-to-head with us.
Wow, Mess, this is going to be great. Hang in there, kiddo. Let's do the rules first. Rule number 1 for the competition. The first is mic skills. How good are you on the stick? Are you engaging? Are you interesting? Or are you just drawing paint? How's that sound?
That sounds
good?
great. Yeah.
All right. Category number 2, mat skills. I always think of Bret Hart when I say this, but then again, after talking with Mess, for some stupid reason, I've got Kenny Omega wrestling a doll in my head. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Mat skills, category number 2. Category number 3, overall influence on the industry. This is where Mess goes and reaches for a bottle of Alka-Seltzer because I'm thinking Vince McMahon. Influence on the industry. Sorry, Mess, I had to. Category number 4, my personal favorite. I bet your Mess loves this one too. The back of the baseball card. What have you won? What have you done? Maybe you've done nothing. And that would eliminate you right away from this category. Like poor Frankie Williams. He did so much, but what's on the back of the back? He tried. He tried really hard.
By the way, Chris Lee says the next head-to-head should be Abdullah the Butcher against the Pharaoh.
Against me.
Yeah.
I already told you that I'm afraid of him coming in, and now you want to do head-to-head. I am not fighting that guy without a full set of silverware, okay?
Hey,
I'll do it, but I want a full set of silverware.
The back of the baseball card cartoon that has me really fat. I guess this is before
this
I
is,
lost.
This is an old...
Pre-heart attack.
That's an old drawer. You don't look like that at all anymore.
Pre-heart attack.
All right, and final category, category number 5, Holy David Von Erich, the It Factor. Are you that polarizing that I have to stop what I'm doing, sometimes in the bathroom, and come running to the set with the toilet paper hanging out of my bunghole?
Nice.
All right, that's it. Was that a little too descriptive, Mess? I tried.
All
right.
A tinge, but it's all right.
So, what do we got?
All right, guys, the first contestant is one half of the Midnight Express, managed by Jim Cornette, Mr. Bobby Eaton. You want to start off, Mike?
Let's go with category number 1 first, Mikey. Let's do Mike skills. We got Bobby Eaton going head-to-head with Michael P.S. Hayes. Who would you give the... And then some of these may be slam dunks. It's just the way it goes. I mean, who do you give the better Mike skills to?
You got to give it to Hayes because he's saying Bad Street USA. He could cut a promo. He carried Buddy Jack Roberts and Terry Gordy in promos for the most part. And Bobby had Jim Cornette as his mic piece. You got to go with Hayes on that.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, who do you got?
I completely agree, although I don't think Bobby Eaton was a bad talker, but you're talking about the penthouse of talkers. Michael Hayes was top shelf main event mouthpiece.
So, forgive me for this.
What?
Bobby Eaton was terrible on the mic.
Ooh.
In fact, I don't ever really remember him ever talking.
He was fine when he spoke. He wasn't terrible.
I can't even remember a one time that Bobby Eaton even spoke.
You don't remember when he said hi, Mike, and waved to
Yeah,
you?
maybe. Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
remember that?
He did the Tully and Arn thing. When Tully and Arn came out to confront the Midnight Express, he talked a little bit. He was pretty good, but that's about it.
But
I thought he was fine.
Obviously, Michael Hayes, probably one of the best wrestlers in the history of pro wrestling on the stick. This is what you call a slam dunk. This is an annihilation. Michael Hayes by 50 furlongs.
Okay, so we all agree on category number 1. So Michael Hayes is up 1-0. However, I think that his fortunes are about to change, Mr. Eaton's. Number 2 category, mat skills. To me, it's Bobby Eaton. I think Bobby Eaton was a much, much better wrestler than Michael Hayes as far as the mat skills go. Now, Michael Hayes, as far as getting emotions out of the crowd, was fantastic. But as far as being a, pure, mat worker, I gotta go with one half of the Midnight Express. What say you, Mess?
Yeah, I agree. Bobby Eaton wins this one. I would like to say that Michael Hayes is a little bit underrated with his ring skills, but Bobby Eaton wins this one.
Okay.
So this one's a little closer for me because obviously Eaton was a high flyer in a lot of ways. When I mean high flyer, he did a lot of off-the-top rope stuff. Hayes was a ground-and-pound guy. Hayes probably wasn't the greatest wrestler, but I go back to what you just said, Pharaoh. He got more emotion out of the fans than Bobby Eaton did.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
But I will agree with both of you. I'm going to give this to Eaton by a head.
All right. Very good. So far, we have all agreed, which is shocking when you think about it. And we got ourselves 1-1. Let's go to category number 3. This one's hard for me. Overall influence on the industry. Wow. Well, when you think of the Midnight Express, absolute legendary penthouse of a team. But then, when you think of the Freebirds, absolutely legendary penthouse of a team. Who overall had more influence? I have to lean towards Michael Hayes with the Freebirds. It's just my personal opinion, but I feel like the Freebirds and Michael Hayes, as Mess said, being the mouthpiece, being the one who carried the act as far as speaking and communicating with the fans. Bad Street USA, coming out to rock music like that was also, his deal. Yeah, I'm going to give the edge to Michael Hayes. And it's a little painful, but I got to go in that direction. What do you say, Mess?
I agree because Michael Hayes, I don't know if we can count his 20 years behind the scenes with WWE, but as a producer, as a guy that's advised the Hardys, and that was kind of kayfabe, but he's advised a lot of people at WWE. He's been working behind the scenes for 20 years, right?
Right.
At least.
Right.
Michael Hayes all day and night, no offense to Bobby Eaton, but there's a Freebird rule. When you have
True.
3 people in a tag team that wrestle as 2, they call it the Freebird rule.
True.
You don't have the Midnight Express rule. So I got to go with Hayes again.
So no one's a bigger fan of the Freebirds than myself, I believe. But I will say this, that the Freebirds were great in World Class Championship Wrestling. Their return to, or their joining of the AWA and the Road Warrior matches was nothing to write home about. In fact, as a fan, I found those very, very, with another very, disappointing. If you want to mention their WWF run, which was probably one of the most awful runs in the history of the WWE for a big-time recognized group of
Expectations not met.
Not met.
Fair enough.
Where I can say that the Midnight Express, under Bobby Eaton, no matter where they went, were always very highly successful. But I have to go with the Freebirds and Michael Hayes. And let's not forget about Michael Hayes' singles runs, his matches against Ric Flair.
You know what I think about that. You know that I feel that Michael Hayes should have been a world champion.
And
I believe that.
There is a
But that's me.
DVD out there about, it's called Bad Street USA, and supposedly the WWE was going to put the strap on Michael Hayes and make him the world heavyweight champion and go over Hulk Hogan. Now, again, I don't know how true that is,
Right.
but whatever. But I agree with both of you that Michael Hayes' overall influence on the industry is over Bobby Eaton.
Mess, real fast before we get to category 4. What did you feel about Michael Hayes' solo? Did you ever think to yourself, this is the makings of a world champion? Because I really did.
No, I don't think I saw him as a world champion, but you got to remember, he was in the decades and the years of Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and guys like Rick Martel that he challenged for the title. Me personally, no. He was a good challenger once in a while. I didn't see him as being a world champion.
Okay, fair enough. I felt that he had the charisma and was so over that it definitely would not have been something I would have smirked at, that's for sure. Let's get to category 4, my favorite, and this one's going to really mess me up. The back of the baseball card. So, when you're putting Eaton up against Hayes, you cannot help but think about the teams that they were both in. This is almost impossible for me, Mike. Both Mikes out there that I'm speaking with right now. This is almost impossible for me. How the hell can I really say one over the other? They were both absolutely incredible careers. You know what? I'm gonna step out of the box a little bit with this one. I'm calling this one a draw. And you can, by the way, call them a draw if you see it that way, guys. And, we've done that once in a blue moon. I have to do that with this. I refuse to say one career on the back of the baseball card was better than the other. This is difficult for me. I say draw. Go ahead, Mess.
Well, this was one that I was going to give to Eaton just because I was trying to make it close. But if I'm going to be really hardcore about it, I got to give it to Hayes. Because you're talking about the junkyard dog angle in Mid-South. You're talking about the Von Erichs, as we've talked about. You're talking about his time with Jimmy Jam Garvin in the beginnings of WCW, which we haven't even talked about, that version of the Freebirds, which I thought was pretty fun, to be honest with you. And all the WWF stuff. I got to give the back of the card. And look, Eaton was great. Starrcade 86, Starrcade 87, even Starrcade 85 against Miss Atlanta Lively. Eaton was the glue. When they transitioned from Dennis Condrey to Stan Lane, Bobby Eaton kept that machine running in the ring. But I'm giving it to Michael Hayes.
All right, Mr. Monty.
This one's a tough one.
It is.
Back of the baseball card, very tough.
Very tough.
I can't disagree with giving him a tie. I also can't disagree with Mike on his opinion. Shockingly enough, I'm going to go with Bobby Eaton on this. His runs and his tag team championship and the overall runs with the Midnight Express. And let's not downplay his late WCW runs and his singles action. They were pushing him for a large point. So I think if you actually look at the back of the baseball card, championships won, title matches, things like that, hard to argue with either one of your guys' opinion, but I'm just going to be the odd man out here, and I'm going to just say I'm going to go with Bobby Eaton on this one.
Interesting. Okay, guys, so this is where we're at right now. Michael Hayes has won category number 1 with Mike Skills. Bobby Eaton has won category number 2 with Matt Skills. Overall influence on the industry we gave to Michael Hayes. The back of the baseball card is technically a draw, because I voted draw, Mess voted one way, Monty voted the other way. That makes it a draw. So we are 2-1-1 in favor of Michael Hayes, and we are now on the final category. This could end in a draw, but in my opinion, it doesn't. Category number 5 is the it factor. What kind of pizzazz did you have? What kind of magnetism did you have? This, to me, is a slam dunk. Michael, the Freebird, Michael Hayes. I don't even need to get too far into this. That guy oozed charisma. So I have to go with Michael Hayes. What say you, Mess?
Watch Michael Hayes dancing around and singing Bad Street USA at the WWE Hall of Fames the last 5 or 6 years. It's still Michael Hayes even to this day. The guy's got more charisma now than most guys in the business ever have. So Michael Hayes wins that. No offense to Bobby Eaton. He wasn't a charisma guy. He was a technician.
Correct.
I'm gonna say the same thing with you guys. Michael Hayes, by far, this isn't even close. Michael Hayes, a blowout. Michael Hayes, probably one of the great stickmen of all time. One of the great it factor guys. Michael Hayes is Michael Hayes. This guy changed the industry. I can't say that for Bobby Eaton.
Right.
So, yes, Michael Hayes by a blowout.
All right, folks, and that's that. Bess, hey, thanks for playing head-to-head with us. We have our winner, Michael P.S. Hayes. By the way, real fast, Mess, you might like this story. There's only one thing, though, that I'm not thrilled with Michael Hayes. Don't you think he should have been a little nicer to you that one time you ran into him?
Yeah,
why don't you tell that story?
So
Mess, check this
quick
out.
story. I was flying to Atlanta for work, and every time I go into Atlanta, which I quite oftenly do, I always think about Bad Street USA, and I'll sing it in my head because I did love that song, and I was a loser, Mark, and that's just the way it was, and that's how it is.
Okay, fair enough.
So I get off the plane, and here's this dude in a blue suit with this white top hat on, and it's Michael P.S. Hayes, and I'm like, holy shit. the next plane I go on is going to crash because I was thinking about Michael Hayes. I go up to him. I start talking about old school wrestling. The guy was like, "Get away from me, you freak." Was really kind of nasty. So I know a few people in the WWE, and I mentioned that Michael was a little off that day, and they told me Michael sent a message to me that said, "Fuck you, freak."
Nice.
So-
nice. Mess, does this change your opinion on him, or are you still good with him?
I feel like you felt like Carrie getting your head smashed with the cage door on Christmas night '82.
That's great.
Yeah, cut down in your Mark Prime, huh? That must have been rough.
Maria Davis says, Mike was mean to Monty, and I said, yes, Maria, hurt my feelings.
Feelings?
He
I didn't know
He
you
hurt
had
my-
any
he hurt
feelings.
my feelings.
Very-
Well, Mike, I
very
want to thank
interesting.
you for joining the show. I want to tell the